I think the government has taken a very important step to calm down the protesters, but I don't think this is satisfactory given the fact that government has made so many promises in the past. So there is a trust being broken here between the government and the protesters. The protesters truly think that it's not sufficient that the government will cut on public employees, certain top officials, their salaries. But the question is, how is it that the Lebanese government will be able to pay interest on the loans, how to minimize the deficit, how to respond to international finance organizations demanding swift and major reforms in the public sector. Till now, for instance, and including those recent promises by the government, there is no solution to the electrical company, which is costing the government annually more than $2 billion in deficit. So, the population will not be satisfied by only promises. I think important step that the government must take is to bring in those protesters and the representatives and open dialogue with them, and perhaps have them participate in government, either through ministers or through watchdog activities, as to have the government, apply these policies under pressure. Otherwise, no one really believes that the current government will not fall back to internal disputes and different political and confessional leaders trying to make the most to their pockets.
Right.
So we need serious transformation of the way the government has been practicing its daily businesses.
Just one more question on the nature of these protests, because protesters have shaken off sectarian divisions to unite against the government. This, of course, in a country famous for bringing together people of different religions in the top posts. How unusual is it for people to unite like this?
This is a very important question, and I think what we've been observing around Lebanon, that the nature of this protest has been unprecedentedly cross-confessional. People have been rallying under one flag, and that is the Lebanese flag, refusing to rally behind their political or confessional affiliations. They are insisting that their protest and their demonstration is nationalist in orientation and is not sectarian. On the contrary, this is something, unprecedented in Lebanese history, that the demands of the protesters is to end once and for all the confessional regime that has been in place for more than 70 years and has done nothing to the Lebanese people other than dividing them and with the economic situation making them poorer. So yes, it is unprecedented. This protest really brought something new to the table and perhaps would lead to a new movement, an alternative movement that can challenge the confessional regime the way it has been operating in the country. So,
right.
We have interesting days to come. We will be watching, and I don't think Lebanon will come out of this easily, but definitely perhaps will lead to some systematic changes in the way it functions.